5-year anniversary of the 2019 floods. The high water caused extensive damage to a number of parks.
6 News' Joe Harris checked in with Fontenelle Forest in Bellevue to see how far they've come.
Fontenelle Forest Operations Director Michelle Foss remembers how fast the water rose in March 2019.
We had an hour before the water was up to my knees, and we had parked our trucks up by the railroad tracks because the road was already covered.
Where she's standing and everywhere around her in the Fontenelle Forest floodplain was inundated when the Missouri River came out of its banks. She says most of the damage was to human-built infrastructure.
Our boardwalk had been torn apart into various pieces, some of which had been drifted away. We had a lot of debris that settled down into our land. We also had some shoreline damage right around our bird blind that was on our marsh.
Here at this brush pile is where the education building used to stand, which had to be torn down because of the water damage. And the water didn't recede quickly either.
It didn't have anywhere to go because the soil was saturated, and this floodplain did what it does, and that's hold water.
So much so that they had to wait a year after the flood to begin repairs. And even then, there was still standing water.
I think the trails were closed for almost 2 years because of the extended flooding and then the actual repairs that went on.
The flood even brought an invasive species of plants to new areas. Foss says it took park personnel 2 years to finish the recovery work from the flood. During that time, they replaced the boardwalk, bird blind, and the bridge leading from the floodplain to the uplands. The flood changed the hydrology of the area, though.
Our marsh that we used to do canoe programs in has dried up. So last year, the water was pretty much gone from our Great Marsh. So our wetlands programming is changing.
They've moved their summer camp location from the wetlands to the Camp Wakanda area. Foss says the flood even paved the way for the 2022 wildfire.
There's actually a flood fire cycle in nature. So oftentimes within a few to 10 years after a massive flood, because of the dead trees and all the downed fuel, a wildfire will come through.
But she says she wants visitors to know the trails, Butterfly Garden, and other attractions off the boardwalk are still around. On your side in Bellevue, Joe Harris, 6 News.
Fontenelle Forest estimates the recovery cost about $600,000. FEMA paid a portion of that.
Police in Lincoln are